When it comes to transforming your body and looking better, there's two ways of doing it. We all know this. We can either get leaner and reveal some muscle by shedding some body fat, or we can increase the size of the muscle by doing a bulk and looking bigger overall, or a combination of the two. But it's really difficult to do that. If you're a newbie, you can do it. If you're coming off an injury, or if you're on steroids, you can do it. But for most of us out there, it's just not possible. We're going to do one or the other. This video is going to talk about bulking and how to do it successfully, because so many people get it wrong. So many people will spend months and months putting on size, putting on strength, but then when they come to their cut, they cut all the body fat off, they look at the two pictures and they actually haven't put on any muscle at all. And they've just basically put on a ton of fat and then cut it off again, and they're back to square one. So this video is going to talk about how to optimally bulk, how to bulk successfully at a rate that your body can manage, can process, so to speak, and a way that your body's going to respond well to. We're going to talk about nutrition, we're going to talk about training, and we're going to talk about the overall complexities of it. So let's dive right in. First thing you need to understand when it comes to a bulk is it's not the same as a cut. With a cut, you can lose body fat or you can get rid of body fat pretty quickly, and you can see the visual differences pretty quickly. We're talking about, maybe a kilo a week, and you can see a kilo of a week coming off, and after a few weeks you can really see the difference and you can feel the difference, and it's pretty motivating. But when it comes to bulking is slow. When it comes to bulking, especially new muscle going into the body, your body's got to create muscle. It's not just getting rid of body fat. You've got to create material for the body. You've got to create connections. You've got to create muscle cells, and that takes time. And the body can only do it so fast, and there's genetic limitations. There's limitations that will come from inadequate training and inadequate nutrition. So we're going to make sure we optimize those, but even with everything dialed in, it's still going to be a little bit of a slow process. So this is going to require some patience. It's going to require us to accept that it's going to take some time, and it's going to require us to have some faith that it's going to work. And if we do all these steps, it will work. Because bulking too fast, dirty bulking, is not the answer. And if you've tried it before, it can be fun. You can eat crap tons of food, especially if you've been dieting a while, but it's not gonna give you any better results. You're just gonna store more fat and cause more work for yourself later on when it comes time to burning the fat off. Another reason why you don't want to do a dirty bulk: when you bulk in a crazy excessive way and you put on more fat than you've ever had, say you reach a new level of fatness, or you reach a higher body fat percentage than you've ever reached before, your body starts creating fat cells. And you're like, well, yeah, okay, that makes sense, of course I do. But once you got those fat cells, you keep them for life. It's not like they disappear when you go back on a cut. When you cut, the fat cells will shrink and kind of shrivel up, but they will stay there, and you've got them for life. And you'll find that it actually becomes harder to cut in the future, and it becomes easier to put on weight in the future. And it's kind of like you're setting yourself up for failure for the rest of your life. So don't try and be a hero and do the dirty bulk. We're going to do it properly, and we're going to do it at the optimal rate. And the optimal rate will depend on your training age. Training age is how long you've been seriously lifting. So I'm talking structured program, I'm talking training at or close to failure, I'm talking progression, or pushing for progression week to week, I'm talking consistent training, okay? And we've got beginners, intermediates, and advanced. Beginners, we're talking new people in the first 12 months. Intermediates, we're talking 12 months to 5 years, and then advanced people, we're talking 6 years plus. And through this whole thing, we're going to work off 0.5 to 1.5% of your body weight per month. Yeah, I said per month. So if you are a beginner, you have the newbie gains, and they will be there for you for about 12 to 18 months. 18 months if you're pushing it. And if this is training seriously. Beginners, let's talk about you. For you guys, your body is really receptive to changes and stimulus from these workouts. It's the newbie gains. If you train and eat properly, you are going to put on some serious muscle right from the off. And we're talking about 1.5% of your body weight in pure muscle per month. That can be a lot. Think about how dense muscle is. So for you, we're talking about 2 to 3 pounds of muscle per month. 12 months, man, you're talking like 25 pounds of pure muscle, and that looks good. 25 pounds of muscle is a huge transformation. So it is slow, but if you do it properly, that is a really good target for you to go for. Intermediate lifters, as you're starting to progress now, the newbie gains are starting to teeter off. You're still getting progress in the gym, but the results are a little slower. So for you, we're talking about 1% of your body weight per month. So for say a 80 kilo person, we're talking about, what is that? Yeah, 0.8 of a kilo per month. If you are 200 pounds, we're talking about 2 pounds per month. It's slow, but it's still better than nothing, and it's a really good solid muscle still. If you do 10 months of 1 pound per month, that's 10 pounds of muscle. If I got 10 pounds of muscle in a year, I'd be stoked. So it's still good. You can still get some good progress from that. Now we're on to the advanced lifters. If you have trained for more than 6 to 8 years of consistent, solid, serious training, then I'm talking to you right now. We're talking about you being in the top 95%, you're in the top 98% of the bracket. You are getting close to that natural limit, and we're getting the last little ounce that we can get out of you and really pushing the body for some muscle growth now. And it's slow, I'm afraid. It's real slow. We're talking about 0.5% a month, if you're lucky. So if you're 100 kilos, we're talking about 0.5 kilo a month. That would be good. For me, if I put on a couple of kilos of muscle in a year, or even 1 kilo of muscle in a year, I'd be stoked. It is slow, really, really slow. The good news is though, is that muscle maturity looks really good at this level. And when you get the conditioning dialed in, when you get the body fat percentages down, 1 to 2 kilos of muscle, even 1 to 2 pounds of muscle, competition to competition, is going to look different. It's going to look apparent. You're going to notice it. So don't be discouraged. Keep pushing. And it's just like Usain Bolt trying to shave off that 100th of a second. Every little bit will make a difference at this advanced level. So be faithful, stay strong, stay true. You will get there, and keep at it. So bad news for women though, I'm afraid. That was for guys. 0.5 to 1.5% of your body weight per month. For women, it's half. Really, really slow, I'm afraid. Genetic limitations, testosterone not as high as the guys. So 0.5 to 1.5% for the guys. We're talking 0.25 to 0.75% of body weight per month if you're a woman. It's slow, I'm afraid. It's painfully slow. But don't be disheartened, because it is difficult to achieve. The good news from that is that it's rare and that it stands out. And if you take the challenge on board, if you really go for it, if you really embrace that and still get the goal, it's phenomenal. Women's physiques, when they actually achieve a successful bulk, look incredible. The differences that you can see, and the way that you don't actually have to gain that much on a woman's frame, and it looks incredible. So don't be disheartened and still go for it. When it comes to bulking successfully itself, now you know how fast to bulk, I'm going to give you 5 tips on exactly how to do it. Tip number 1, calories. Quantity. How many are we going to do? We're talking 200 to 300 calories above your maintenance. If you're not tracking calories yet and you want to do a serious bulk, I suggest you start tracking calories. Start by just logging everything you eat and drink. Every single thing that goes into your mouth. We're talking drinks, sauces, seasonings, every single little thing you have that goes into your mouth you need to track seriously, because we're doing small increases here. 200 to 300 calories per day is your increase. Then start tracking your weight and see how it goes. You're probably going to need to do this in more of a trend mindset when it comes to bulking. We're talking 7-day averages. Maybe do a daily weigh-in at the beginning and build a 7-day average as you go, and see how your 7-day average is trending when it comes in terms of monthly change. Remember, we want that half to 1.5% depending on your training age. Then adjust it. You need to be really consistent with this, because you can't just have huge, bulky, high calorie days and then low calorie days and it averages out. It's not going to work. You're just going to put on fat on some days and then nothing's going to happen on the other days, and it's not going to be. You need to provide steady, consistent protein, nutrients to the muscle every single day if you're going to do it properly. Tip number 2, quality. Now, we want to keep sugar down. We want to keep fat down. We want to keep processed stuff down. We want to do a quality bulk. When we put in a lot of processed, ultra processed, high glycemic, sugary crap, especially fat and carbs together, not good for bulking, because your body will partition it straight into fat. You'll produce a blood sugar spike. That's going to cause an insulin spike. That's going to cause your body to just grab that energy, shove it into fat, because it can't deal with all of that straight away. And because you're in a bulk, you're not going to burn it off again. Not easily. So we want to really work on quality here. We're talking about just taking the good quality food that you have during your cut and increasing the portions. Keep the protein pretty steady. We're talking that classic 1 pound per body weight for your protein intake. For fats, you probably want to bring it down a little bit. We're talking maybe 15 to 20% fat, and then all the remainder is carbs, lots of carbs, but we're talking quality carbs. So we're talking vegetables, fruit, quality rice, potatoes, that kind of stuff. Okay, we want to keep the processed stuff down because it just gets stored. We want to provide slow, steady nutrition, slow, steady energy, and we get that with the low glycemic stuff, the complex carbohydrates that I've talked about before in other videos. Number 3, training. Training is important. We want to have consistent training. We want to have a program set up that pushes us. We want to be really pushing the strength now. So before it was about maybe just aiming to conserve strength, just hold on to strength, but now you can push yourself. Now you can really open it up because the energy's there, the supply is there, the nutrients are there, so use that energy. Also, bonus tip, when it comes time to nutrition, you don't want to be full, you don't want to be lethargic, you don't want to have a full stomach when it comes to training. So make sure you train a good gap after you've eaten, or in the morning. You can even train fasted because you are always in a surplus now. You have a good supply of energy. Maybe take a shake or some BCAAs in the morning and train fasted, but don't train on a full stomach. Don't train when you're lethargic. You want your body to feel energetic. A lot of people find they feel sluggish, brain fog, slow, it doesn't feel good when you're bulking. And that's because they're not doing it right. When it comes to training, you need to train heavy, you need to train intense, you really need to go for it. The risk of injury is going to be a little lower as well. Now you need to still be careful when it comes to in terms of injury, but you can push yourself a little more. So really go for it. Get a training buddy, get them to push you. Really go for the PBs, record your workouts, and really aim for progress week to week. Really pushing yourself. Number 4, cardio. What do you say? Yeah, cardio. We're going to actually include some cardio in our bulk. We're talking 2 cardio sessions a week, 1 or 2, maybe 3 on a good week. And in terms of cardio, we're talking 30 minutes of decent cardio, you could go for some runs, go for some cycles, get a sweat on. You want to get your heart rate up to say 70-80% of your max consistently for a good 30 minutes. We want to get some energy moving. And this is a great way to reduce that lethargic, foggy, crappy feeling of being in a bulk. It's going to help us get rid of too much energy that we're not going to be using for protein and muscle building anyway. It's going to help liven our body up, wake us up a little bit, and it does improve energy partitioning. It will actually burn a little bit of fat, which will be good, and it's like doing a little mini cut each time. And it means you've got glycemic space in your body that you've created from that cardio that you can use as a bit of a buffer so you don't spill over too much. So cardio is really good. Enjoy the cardio, use it as an opportunity to get your body awake and feeling good, feeling light, and not too bogged down by the bulk. Number 5, it's a mindset, but it's persistence and patience. You've got to be persistent, you've got to be patient. It's going to take time, it's going to take dedication. If you want to do a bulk properly, it is a long, slow process, and it can be painful in terms of just, oh, it's so slow. But bulk is so good when it's done properly. If you spend 12 months, if you've been training for a few years and you then spend 12 months coming from like dialed in 8% body fat, conditioned, sharp, and then you go from there and we get to say 12-14% body fat, and over that 12 months you've put on 1%, 0.5% of your body weight per month, it's gonna look so good. And then you just have to take off a small little bit of body fat at the end, which is much less than it was going to be if you hadn't have done this properly, and it's going to look phenomenal because you put on a huge, decent amount of muscle mass, you've gained a huge amount of strength, and then you just go reveal that fat, reveal that body, take off the fat, and it's going to look incredible. So 5 really good tips we've got here: the quantity of the calories, the quality of the calories, the training that you do, the cardio to give it that little extra boost, and the mindset. If you have more questions, please message me. You can contact me on social media and I'll reply, give you any help I can give you. I really want you guys to do well. You can follow me on the social media, it sounds so old. We've got Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, all of that. You can find it really easily, just search George Health. You can also go on the website. There's a whole article on this which goes into this even deeper, georgehealth.com. Get out there and go for it, guys. Have a successful bulk. Comment below on your experiences and give me questions and your stories. I want to hear it all. Have a great day, guys. Peace out.